Hi, everyone. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I witnessed in the last few months that really made a significant impact on me. And I wanted to see if I could share some of the things that really stood out to me. And that was the walk for peace. I don't know if you were aware of it, but there were almost 20 um, monks that were walking across America. They walked from Texas to Washington, D.C., and it took them 109 days to get to Washington, D.C. And so every day they would be on YouTube and you could watch them walk and you could see them at their lunch stop and at their evening stop. And the leader, his name was Venerable Bhikkhu Panyakara. Had to learn that name, but he's a beautiful person, and he would give talks every twice a day usually. So in um, they were walking between 20 and 30 miles a day through crazy weather and all kinds of things. And they were also stopping, and then he would eat lunch and then give a lecture, about an hour long talk. And every time it was similar, but I mean, he would also tell you a bit about his life, and they had a dog that was with them named Aloka, and he has his own YouTube channel. He became quite a part of the walk that everybody loves. And it was so inspiring to me because it wasn't, and when you think about a walk for peace or you think about a peace demonstration, it seems like everybody gets together because they don't want war, like war as far as military type of war, right? And so peace seems like that's what it's about, let's have peace on earth. But what I learned through this walk was it was all about how peace begins inside of each one of us. And we're always busy worrying about the world out there and thinking that the world out there is what's causing us to feel um, unsteady or unsafe or all of these things that we sort of get blasted every night about, all the bad things that have happened in the world. And so we feel like we have no control and we can't, and the world is just going to heck in a handbasket. But what was being taught in the Walk for Peace was something a little bit different. And he gave us an assignment every day, and that was to um, write down every morning when we get up, today is going to be my peaceful day. And he said, okay, once you write it down, and make sure you write it down, you can't just say it out loud or type it on your phone. You need to write it because there's something about writing that makes it more real to you. You're bringing it into the world instead of just into a computer or a phone or into the air when you say it. So write it down first and then read it with your eyes quietly and then say it out loud and make a commitment that today is going to be my peaceful day. And so then what what I realized was that I get to choose peace within me every day by the way that I act, by the way that I talk, and especially, this is the most important thing to me, is by the way I treat myself. Because I tend to do things like judge myself all day or feel like I'm not being productive, or, there's just this noise in my head all the time that is telling me what I'm not doing correctly and or not doing enough of or judging me in some way. And I know that with a lot of the people that I've worked with, they relate to this. We are the worst critic of our own selves more than anyone else on the planet. And so this walk for peace taught me that I need to every day I need to be looking to provide peace within myself. So, not just peace in the world. And that if I can be peaceful to myself and love myself as much as I possibly can, then I am making a difference in the world. And when I'm at peace, then my family is at peace. And when my family's at peace, we affect the people around us and it just grows and grows and grows. So peace isn't necessarily something that happens out there. It's something that happens in here. And so this walk was so beautiful because it every single day these monks were walking and they were in pain. They had all kinds of medical issues. They walked through 20, no, it was 11 degrees and 30-mile-an-hour winds some days when they were walking, and people were still coming out to stand by the road and give them flowers and give them respect, and just in awe of what they were doing. They were just walking and they were doing it every day, no matter what, no matter how much their bodies hurt, no matter what. And some of them were in their late 60s and 70s. There was actually even a man in his mid 70s that walked for 89 days, and then he had to let go because his body just wasn't holding up. But it was so inspiring. And so every day I sit down and I write, today is going to be my peaceful day, and number one person that I want to be at peace with is me. Is the way I treat myself. I want to be the kind of friend that I would like to have, because if you think about it, sometimes when you look at how you talk to yourself, if you had a friend who talked to you like that, it would almost be abuse for some people, maybe not everybody, but I know for me, there are so much judgment within me for myself, and that has been a journey for me, and that's why I do the work that I do, to help people to also learn to treat themselves with love and be their own best friend and love yourself like you love other people in your life. So that was my experience of Walk for Peace. It changed me profoundly. I still watch the reruns, or not the reruns, but the videos on Facebook. You can look at Walk for Peace and make sure it has a blue check mark, because there's a lot of fake accounts. But there's also a lot of people there's also a Walk for Peace official community where people are talking about, their own peace and how they're creating peace in their life, in their communities, and how they're letting go of people who don't treat them correctly. I mean, not like, you have to have boundaries. That's one thing. But like, if somebody yells at you that you don't even know, or, yells at you in traffic or blows their horn at you, and, you just take a deep breath. And, what the monk says is, when that kind of thing happens to us, just tell them, may you be well, be happy, and be at peace, and just go on your way. So you don't have to let them upset you or trigger you. And that's hard to do, but it's something we can work at. So thank you for listening, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.